From what I heard through the grapevine, she had kind of bragged that she was a good swimmer. And when she saw the lights of Curacao, she was going to jump in the water and try to beat the ship ashore. 2,000 people were getting ready to get off the ship in Curacao. I had bouffant hair at the time, so I was probably spritzing in my hair, getting ready to make my appearance on the gangway. We're not going to stop everybody's cruise because there was a missing girl. That's one family's unfortunate incident, but we still had 2,400 people who paid a lot of money. And as cold as that sounds, that's the reality. You know, we still had a couple thousand people to entertain, feed. They were still on vacation, so we went back to, normal operating procedure. Life goes on. Cruises go on.
So me and Archie just finished watching the Amy is Missing documentary on Netflix, and here's what they didn't tell you. The 1998 disappearance of 23-year-old Amy Bradley from the Royal Caribbean cruise ship Rhapsody of the Seas has gripped true crime fans like me for nearly 3 decades. The Netflix series spotlights suspects like Alister Yellow Douglas, a band member who saw Amy last, but barely mentions Kirk Detweiler, the cruise director. Yet, Kirk's comments sparked outrage, fueling the chilling possibility Amy was targeted for human trafficking from the start, with whispers that he and Yellow were in on a dark scheme to cover it up. So I'm Joseph Morris, and this is my corgi Archie. Subscribe if you're into cases that keep you up at night, because today we're talking about Kirk's shady role, the suspicions around Yellow, and sightings that scream Amy is still out there. So Amy Bradley, a 23-year-old from Virginia, was on a family vacation with her parents, Ron and Eva, and brother, Brad, aboard the Rhapsody of the Seas, heading to Curacao. On March 23rd, 1998, Amy and Brad hit the ship's nightclub, dancing with passengers and crew, including Blue Orchid band member Alister Yellow Douglas. By 3:40 a.m., door lock records show Amy returned to her cabin. Her father saw her on the balcony at 5:30 a.m., but by 6 a.m., she was gone, just vanished, leaving only her sandals and polo shirt. Her cigarettes and lighter were missing as well, suggesting she left willingly. Despite searches, Amy just disappeared into thin air. The Bradleys urged the crew to lock down the ship, but it docked in Curacao. A Charlie drill swept the ship at 9 a.m. after passengers disembarked. Her mom pleaded to stop the gangways from going down, but everybody just left the ship and continued on their vacation like nothing ever happened, which caused huge anxiety for the family members. The crew's inaction over this emergency of possibly someone going overboard or being smuggled out of the cruise ship didn't just stop there. They even went ahead and even cleaned the Bradley's cabin before the FBI could do a search. So this fueled cover-up theories, and maybe that the cruise employees were all in on it. Ex-users speculate Amy was smuggled off, maybe even in a suitcase. Theories range from Amy falling overboard, which an official has ruled out, saying a body would have been found because there's strong currents that pull everything onto the shore. Sleuths for 3 decades believed that Amy was singled out for human trafficking. Her mom said crew members called her a trophy for her striking looks, and the Caribbean was a trafficking hotbed in the 1990s, with the likes of Jeffrey Epstein having his island there. Unverified sightings keep hope alive that Amy's still out there. In August 1998, a Canadian tourist named David Carmichael saw a woman with tattoos that were matching Amy's, which were a Tasmanian devil and gecko tattoos, on a Curacao beach with 2 men, one resembling Yellow Douglas, but the FBI couldn't confirm it. In 1999, U.S. Navy veteran Bill Hefner recalled a woman in a Curacao brothel saying to him, "My name is Amy Bradley, please help me." And that adult worker claimed she left the ship for drugs and was trapped. Hefner reported this in 2002 after seeing Amy's photo, but the brothel had burned down. In 2005, Judy Moorer reported a distressed woman in a Bridgetown, Barbados restroom. Accompanied by 4 men discussing an illegal deal, Amy asked to see the children. And when Judy got this woman alone in the restroom, the woman whispered that her name was Amy, claiming to be from Virginia. So all those details match up with Amy Bradley. Some speculate the men used the children that Judy overheard the woman talking about to control Amy. So maybe Amy is on this island of Barbados and has kids. That exact year, 2005, of that sighting, a photo of a woman named Jas on a Caribbean adult website was confirmed by the FBI to be Amy, with their features lining up perfectly. And IP spikes from Bridgetown, Barbados on the amybradleyismissing.com forum during family anniversaries suggest Amy might be looking at that website during important dates like her mom Iva's birthday. The IP tracked back to Bridgetown, where that 2005 bathroom sighting by Judy was. A 2006 forum post on that website mentions unverified claims of crew tied to escort networks fueling the conspiracy that the crew was all in on it. Kirk Detweiler, a 20-year-old Royal Caribbean veteran, managed 2,400 passengers but is glossed over in the documentary. His remark that Amy's case was one family's unfortunate incident, but we still had 2,400 people who paid a lot of money, drew backlash.
I've concluded that the conspiracy theories about Amy Bradley are BS. I think she jumped or fell off. And I just think it's grasping at straws. A family that is not facing reality.
Personally, I found that kind of insensitive and a little callous to make. Ex-users called him despicable, suggesting that he stayed silent for hush money. And his tone screams of a cover-up. Alister Yellow Douglas danced with Amy, claiming he left her at 1 a.m. Passenger Lori Thompson saw them, however, in an elevator between 5 and 6 a.m. with Douglas alone shortly thereafter. Yellow's inconclusive polygraph and a bag of photos of Caucasian women found by his daughter, Amica, raised suspicions. I mean, why was he obsessed with all these white women when he came back from the cruise? Amica said his behavior changed post-cruise, with her mother citing hurtful comments. And it turns out that Yellow told Amy's brother Brad, "Hey man, I'm sorry to hear about your sister," before any public announcement was made, which Brad, of course, found very odd and raised a huge red flag. And hearing about this, it sounds like Yellow knew what happened to this woman before anybody else did. In 2024, Yellow, now a reverend in Grenada, denied involvement, insisting he left Amy at 1 a.m. Kirk in the documentary calls Yellow a good guy caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, brushing off the theories as grasping at straws. Ex-users see this as deflecting scrutiny, and it's hard to ignore the vibe of a deeper plot. Kirk's career just went on, and Yellow faced no charges. Kirk left Royal Caribbean in 2011, worked for Silver Sea and Jalesh Cruises, and since 2020 has been executive director of the Marion Palace Theater in Ohio. And here's what one TikToker had to say about Kirk's comments in the Amy is Missing documentary.
The fact that this guy is so blatantly cold and callous about the whole disappearance of her, whatever the case may be, this man is completely numb to the whole situation. And I tell you, I will never, ever in my lifetime go on a cruise ran by Royal Caribbean. And if I were Royal Caribbean, I would look into this guy myself. I would do my own internal investigation, because maybe if you look back from the late 80s when he started with the cruise line and the years that subsequently after, I guarantee probably find some more skeletons in his closet, i.e. missing people.
Yeah, and the comments read, his level of being unbothered gave me the creeps. He's probably the ringleader of the whole operation, someone wrote. Everything about him and Yellow scream guilty. When he said wrong place, wrong time, wrong girl, and life goes on, I was fuming. He was sickeningly insensitive. He was in on it. He gave 0 Fs about her being missing. And of course, the cruise staff knows what happened to Amy Bradley. I just know it. Anyway, guys, what is your take on the Amy is Missing Netflix documentary? And what idea do you think happened to Amy? I mean, I hear some people saying, she just simply fell overboard. Maybe her family didn't accept her for being a lesbian, or that maybe she was partying too hard that night and kind of just fell over. But, all those sightings, as well as that adult website that showed her on it as Jas and her face completely matching up perfectly, really convinced me that she is out there somewhere. And especially with that Judy sighting in that washroom, where all of the facts about what that woman said in that washroom matched up to Amy, really makes me feel like she is out there, combined with the, hits on the website of all the particular anniversaries. She is most likely in Barbados, Bridgetown, Barbados. And maybe the people that are controlling her are using her possible children to keep her in line. Or, maybe, as her family said, she has Stockholm syndrome and actually loves being held captive. Who knows? But either way, I really hope that this case brings attention to Amy Bradley. And you never know, maybe she will come forward and we will finally get the truth. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Me and Archie are going to look forward to reading them. Please leave a comment down below. We read every single one. Don't forget to subscribe to become a Joey. Bye.